Success looked like this for me. Like I had all these plans, and COVID, impeded on my plans. But I didn't let that break me. The plans changed. The vision never did. Never did. The vision remained the same the entirety of how long I've been in business. For the last 29 months that I've been an entrepreneur, my plans have pivoted and changed hundreds of times. The vision always remained the same. And that's why we're here today. So I get the pleasure of talking to you every week, Jason. I love you, bro. But Les Brown once said, "How you become successful is none of your business," and that's because we make these plans and we always are willing to change the plan. Good, bad, breakthrough. It's Drew.
And me, Jason.
And it's edition. Jason. It's the boys edition, baby.
It's about time.
I love it. Long overdue. No. Keenan and Andrea, they're so phenomenal to live life with, to grow with, to work with. I couldn't imagine working with anybody else other than the fantastic four that we have.
So. 100%. And you know that women are going to save the world. So it's good to have two of them on this podcast.
1 billion%. So, for our audience, we are in episode, I believe, 30 now. This is 30. Yep, episode 30. Thank you, Jason, for putting that out there. We're going to do we are today getting to know a little bit about Drew. Jason, not to put you on the spot, but to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Where do you want to start with? This is your interview.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start at the basics. That's where always the best place to start. So, Drew, first off, Drew Mitchell-Gelfi, tell us about yourself.
Drew Mitchell-Gelfi, I'm 34. I was born and raised in Madison, Wisconsin. East Side Pride, graduated from East High School, attended METC in Erzing, business marketing. College life wasn't for me. But when you leave, take the pride with you for all you alumni out there from East. I'm family over everything. I have an 18-year-old daughter, a 16-year-old son, and a 1-year-old son. My fiance and I have had the pleasure of being in this lifetime together for the last 22 years. It's been a journey. I appreciate everything about my family and what we do. Drew, in a nutshell, man, eat, sleep, and breathe personal development. I'm all about building, developing, and growing. Hence why I started Back to Basics, which focuses on, teaching people to love themselves unconditionally and to connect on a deep and meaningful level. I love mentorship. I love coaching. I love being coached. I love constant growth. I seek it. I desire it. I yearn for it. I have trouble stop thinking about it. I love it. I love my family. I love being a father. Managing different relationships and different emotions isn't always easy, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I just love connecting with people, and there's some business stuff out there, but I'm sure you'll ask those questions. But that's me. I just love love. I love grace. I love patience. I love learning. I love practice.
You're a very passionate human being. I can tell that as well. And for my time with you, and that comes through in everything you do. You have a lot of passion and compassion. And I think those are two great qualities for any human, but especially I love those about you. Okay, so let's tell people a little bit about Back to Basics. You just mentioned that. I want to make sure they know what that is and what you're doing with that, because you've been developing this and really turning it into something that's going to be really impactful for our community.
Yeah, so Back to Basics, man, where do I start? I guess you start with the mission, right? To teach people to love themselves without conditions, allowing them to connect on a deep and meaningful level. Everything we do around the program is revolved around character development, social emotion, learning, different social emotional awareness, enhancing the soft skills of everyone we work with. We have programs for educators, we have programs for youth, we have programs for businesses. Over the last 3 years, as you mentioned, Jason, we've been We've been working. We've been getting dirty. I have people getting in the mud with me and creating framework for the last 3 years of how we're doing, what we're doing, and who we're doing it with. But just to give our viewers an insight of what we've been doing, for the last 2.5 years out of Pancake Cafe, we have been, providing youth mentorship and helping them build, develop, and grow their character, and helping develop the mindset of going from blaming others to ultimate accountability. And when you can do that with young adults, especially 14, 15, 16, and 17, when you can get them to be aware and accountable and have an accountability mindset, and to teach them to love themselves without conditions, and understanding that life is practice, they have a higher self-esteem. They have a higher sense of self-worth, a higher sense of self-value. They're more confident, and they see the room differently. They're more alert. They're more aware. And you organically build a leader by focusing on them developing their soft skills. Programs for businesses. We've been doing business coaching and leadership development for the past 7 months with Fitchburg Farms. Big shout out to Alicia Rodriguez from Fitchburg Farms, who, like you said, women are going to change the world. She's changing the world. She's learning how to change rooms. That company is very blessed to have her, and her leadership as a general manager. She's been phenomenal to work with, just a sponge, and the way she receives information and implements it, and then is learning how to assert herself. It's really been a joy to work with. We're hoping to be in the schools coming in September. We had I think our 8th or 9th meeting with a school that is unnamed now until the contract is signed. But yeah, we're manifesting that come September, we'll also be in the schools demonstrating a social emotional curriculum to help young adults with self-identity, self-awareness, all the soft skills that it takes to love yourself unconditionally, and then to translate that into being an immaculate leader.
Now, you and I could talk for a long time and go in depth on a bunch of things. There's one thing you said, I think, that I wanted to go in depth a little bit on, and that is that mindset of accountability. It's not an easy thing, right? I mean, things happen. Most of us want to point a finger or blame somebody else or find a reason or justify, right? That's not an easy thing to do and teach people, but you're getting young people in that mindset. So then, man, if you can tackle that one when you're a teenager, just think about where you can ascend to as an adult.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, like you said, we could talk about this for the next decade. Like an accountability mindset, even as an adult, is hard to develop. It's hard to say like, hey, I'm accountable for everything that I do today, and the variables that are thrown at me, or the different reasonings or the different people that I come across. It's still my responsibility on what I choose to do, and it's not easy to say like, oh, I made this. I made this decision because so and so did this and so did that. That's so easy to do. Like, we're so accustomed to hearing that, but to actually go down to not the execution, but the habits and behaviors and the learning. We talk about all the time when we're mentoring, when we're doing business coaching, when we're doing leadership development. We're never concerned about the execution. We're always concerned with the learning and the habit and behavior that got us to wherever we went. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to fail. We're all going to fall short. We're all going to miscommunicate. We're all going to misunderstand. But what was the habit and behavior, or where did we, go left when we should have went right, or where did we go this direction where we could have went this direction? And being able to boil it down and remove all the variables within yourself and within other people, and teaching that there's an extreme skill set that comes with it. I've done 10 years of personal development, every morning, every afternoon, every evening, reading audios, Eric Thomas, Secrets to Success podcast, shout out to them, going to motivational retreats, speaking seminars. I've done the groundwork. I've gotten dirty for 10 to 15 years. But to be able to have that type of conversation with one young adult to another young adult, and just to see them remove those variables and excuses, and then talk about, I could have done this differently. and going forward, I'm going to create a different habit or behavior that then, I do that daily when I'm here. I'm going to practice it at work. Then I'm going to practice it at home. Then I'm going to practice it at school. I'm going to practice it with other people. So when you get people to not worry about that end result so much and be like, oh, striving for perfection, or it's not right, or it's good, or it's bad, or it's right, or it's wrong. But to be like, no, like what do we learn from it? Like, what's the learning that is involved to get us to go towards something different? It's a beautiful thing, and it's far from fucking easy. Excuse my English. Like, it's probably the most difficult and stressful and draining thing that you can do in the world is to teach people how to be accountable. And I crave it like every day. Like it helps me be a different version of myself, because I'm not in rooms dictating and directing. I'm in rooms listening. I'm in rooms being coached. I'm being held to a high standard of accountability because it's all we eat, sleep, and breathe as a culture, so it's so refreshing just to like be around people that have the courage to build up a voice and speak to you and hold you accountable.
Yeah, always learning and growing, I think, is something that is great to strive for, and it's important. And what you just described to me, my interpretation is that means that there are no experiences in your life then that you should regret, because there's always something you can take away from that experience, whether it went the way you expected, which almost nothing does, right? But whether it was easy, whether you ascended to the area you were going for, or whether you ended up on a little bit lower level than you were trying to reach. Either way, you learn something, and so there should be, it's always a good experience, no matter the end result, because you have that to grow from and learn from.
1,000,000,000%.
So you also mentioned Pancake Cafe. Tell people a little bit about how you've taken that restaurant, kind of turned it into what you saw for it when you first bought it a few years ago.
Yeah, Pancake Cafe started back in February of 2020 or January of 2020, I'll say. Had 3.8 stars on Google, 252 Google reviews. It was a restaurant that nevertheless wasn't progressing in the direction that you would want a restaurant to progress. And I identified that, and my family, my investment team said, "Hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and let's purchase a restaurant." I made a decision to purchase a restaurant so I can have a platform where I could build and develop people, build and develop a community, and ultimately, build and develop a city. And we did that. So February 2020 came. First month was great. I think we were up like 27% over, last year, February. We're talking about, profit sharing and doing employee draws. And then March comes around, 2 weeks into March, and the whole world shut down. I always tell people it's bittersweet because, it sounds crazy to people, especially businesses, but I didn't buy a business to make money. I bought a platform so I could be the change that I wish to see in the world. And it focused my direction on going towards building and developing people, building and developing the community. And with COVID back in March of 2020, we just focused on giving back. We did 2,000 meals for the youth, breakfast and lunch with the local gym, Primal Strength and Fitness. We did, Wellness Wednesdays for mothers and their children. We partnered with TDS Fiber and Palette Pleasures for that. We did, Thanksgiving. We partnered with Reach, Dane County Reach, Joining Forces for Families, Stone Area Resource Team. We fed over 300 families hot Thanksgiving food on Thanksgiving, which was my birthday. I shut the whole restaurant down. And everything we've done was just to give back. Santa's Workshop. We'll do our third Santa's Workshop this year. Last year, we taught the kids selfless giving, especially during a holiday that's so selfish. We had 400 or 500 families come in, and I'm at the front door talking to Johnny saying, "Hey, do you know the purpose and intent of what we're doing?" He's like, "To get toys." "Yeah, that's cool. But is this your sister?" "Yeah, okay. I want you to pick up a gift for your sister. And then your sister, I want you to pick up a gift for your brother. You guys can get anything you want, but I want you guys to connect and be selfless during such a selfish season, which is a social normality." But it really just, again, it just made me focus on giving back to the community, connecting with local businesses, and building and developing the nonprofit. And like you said, you know, how the success looked like this for me. Like I had all these plans, and COVID, impeded on my plans. But I didn't let that break me. You know, the plans changed. The vision never did. Never did. The vision remained the same the entirety of how long I've been in business. For the last 29 months that I've been an entrepreneur, my plans have pivoted and changed hundreds of times. The vision always remained the same. And that's why we're here today. So I get the pleasure of talking to you every week, Jason. I love you, bro. But Les Brown once said, "How you become successful is none of your business," and that's because we make these plans and we always are willing to change the plan. You have to have a plan to go forward, and you have to be willing to change the plan to continue to move forward.
Yeah, I think life never goes the way we expect, and so we have to be able to shift and adjust and make those types of things, and then just follow. Kind of, a lot of people talk about kind of blazing your own trail or making your path, but part of that making your path is also following your path. So to me, it's like it's kind of a mixture of both things. I think you have to take some steps into uncharted territories, but you also got to follow some of the path that's set at times that makes sense, that's right there in front of you, and then ultimately you kind of end up where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
What should people know about you, Drew the Drew? Not the business Drew, not the back to basics Drew. What should they know about you? What's something that they should know? Other than your beard's looking fantastic. I mean, that looks nice.
Shout out to JP Hair Design, bags at JP Hair Design. I'll share this with everybody. I was born on Thanksgiving in '87, and I was a turkey baby. And my mom and some of my immediate family always remind me that, there's a reason why I'm so thankful to be here. There's a reason why I'm so grateful. And I've experienced life on many different levels. One thing that just to know about Drew is I'm a very grateful person. And I'm always thankful to be in different rooms, to connect with different people. I'm just full of gratitude. I know people aren't accustomed to that, but it just comes from a genuine place of my heart. Very sincere, and I'm very genuine. I'm very grateful.
I think it's interesting to ask because you talked about how important your family was right away. You've kind of laid out your mission, your vision for different things. We can tell some of the things that are really important to you, but I like to ask people something like that. Just maybe just one thing you think people should know about you that they might not know, because I think in our world, and we've talked about this before on the podcast, like who truly knows anybody? How many people in your life do you really know? The core of that person, the whole of that person, it's generally it's a pretty small group, right? But also we have all these people we know, and so those people all have interpretations of us. Is that interpretation, does that match who you feel you truly are and certain things about yourself? So anyway, I wanted to put that out there to you. Are you ready for some lightning round stuff? Are you?
Are we still doing this episode, or are we transitioning?
We're not transitioning yet. We're gonna do some quick lightning round on Drew, and you can throw some stuff at me next time. Okay. All right. Number one, give me a musical influence or music you like.
Boyz II Men.
All right. What about your favorite restaurant?
I can't say Pancake Cafe.
You can if it's your favorite.
Favorite breakfast restaurant, Pancake Cafe. I'm biased.
Fair enough. I would.
My favorite pizza is Rocky Rococo. I'll say that.
Ooh, okay. Rococo. What is your favorite thing to do by yourself? So not because I know you're a family guy, but when it's just you, what's your favorite thing to do? Or most enjoyable thing?
My most enjoyable thing to do when I'm by myself is to journal, to write down my thoughts.
What about your favorite? Do you like scenic views?
I do.
What's your favorite scenic view in the area?
Favorite scenic view in the area? I would have to say, does Lake Michigan count? I was just in Lake
Sure.
Michigan. Yeah, go down to Racine and go fishing on Lake Michigan. I was 15 miles deep into Lake Michigan, and I watched the sunrise. I was out there from 5 o'clock in the morning till 12. That has become my favorite scenic view, is to watch the sunrise on a lake or watch the sunrise in the ocean. It's beautiful. It's life-changing.
And would you rather be on a beach or in a city?
Beach all day. All day beach.
Fair enough. All right, man. I don't know any other questions off the top of my head to ask you. Oh, wait. Yeah, we have a couple more. Okay, so corny jokes or dirty jokes?
Ooh, I got dad jokes for days. But there's an egotistical side of Drew that's locked up that appreciates a dirty joke. But he only comes out in different rooms. Yeah, and I need permission to unlock him. Because I'm all in or all out. I don't stop. There's no happy medium with me. That's why I don't like sarcasm anymore. Because I go and I go deep.
Last, most important human trait.
Self-love.
Okay, that's all I got for you, man.
Good Bad Breakthroughs, episode 30. If you want to learn
up.
more about Back to Basics, you can go to the website now. It's back to basics, wi.org. Again, that's back to basics, wi.org. You can find Good Bad Breakthrough podcasts on all platforms. We got YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Anchor, Pocket Cast, and Audible. Holler back, youngin'. Ooh, ooh. Boys edition.